So, my name is Meredith Blake, and this is the story of the night I realized my family never saw me as one of their own. I arrived at my sister's wedding dressed in a navy blue gown, clutching a simple gift bag, and the tiniest shred of hope that maybe, just maybe, things would be different this time. The venue was stunning, a five-star ballroom in downtown Chicago with marble floors. Golden chandeliers and flower arrangements that probably cost more than my monthly rent. From the outside, it looked like a fairy tale. But I didn't belong in this story. A wedding planner with a clipboard and a dazzling fake smile greeted me at the entrance. She chirped. "Meredith Blake," I replied, steady and polite. Her smile faltered just slightly as she flipped through the seating chart. I saw it in her eyes before she spoke, the pity. "Ah, yes. You're seated just over here," she said, handing me a place card and pointing toward a hallway outside the main reception area. I blinked. "Outside." She nodded. "Yes, just along the corridor near the coat racks." I glanced at the large seating chart beside her. My parents, my sister Rachel, every friend, coworker, distant cousin, they all had a seat inside. But me, not even close. I approached my mother, who was adjusting Rachel's veil. "Mom, can I talk to you for a second?" She barely glanced at me. "Not a good time, Meredith." "Can't you see we're busy?" I sighed. She stepped aside. Rachel didn't move, just stared at me with a knowing smirk. "I'm seated in the hallway," I said. "Huh." Mother laughed as if I was being ridiculous. "We had to prioritize close family, sweetheart." "I am close family," I said. "You're overreacting. Be grateful you're here." Those words burned. Grateful for being shoved out of sight, for being treated like an afterthought. I didn't argue, didn't cry. The sting I felt that night wasn't just about the wedding. It was the culmination of years, decades of being pushed aside. The truth hit me 3 years ago like a punch to the chest. I had gone home for the holidays. I wandered through the house and found a small leather-bound notebook half hidden in my mother's nightstand drawer. I opened it and found page after page of neatly handwritten notes, memories, observations, lists all about Rachel. I flipped through it all, searching, hoping for even a single page about me. There was nothing. Not a mention, not a note, not even a birthday. When my mother walked in and saw me with it, she didn't even flinch. "Oh, that. I just like to keep track of things for Rachel," she said casually. "You've always been so independent, Meredith. I've never had to worry about you." As if that explained why there wasn't a single word about her other daughter. That moment never left me. And now, sitting me in a hallway at Rachel's wedding, it wasn't just a mistake. It was the latest chapter in a story I'd been trying to rewrite my whole life. I walked up to Rachel. Her smile widened into something that wasn't quite kind. A smirk. "Hey, Meredith," she said sweetly. "Everything okay?" They seated me in the hallway. Her brows lifted in mock surprise. "Seriously? That's awful. But you know how it is," she continued. "Weddings are chaos. People get misplaced. Don't take it personally, except I was supposed to take it personally." That was the point. Her eyes sparkled not with innocence, but satisfaction. I turned back to my mother. "You really think it's okay to seat me outside?" "Meredith, don't turn this into a thing. It's Rachel's big day." "This isn't a thing. It's respect." "You're being dramatic," she said, her tone clipped. "Be grateful you're even invited." I didn't answer. Then from behind me, a quiet voice broke through the noise. "That's an interesting arrangement." I turned to see a tall, poised woman in a sleek navy dress holding a glass of champagne. It was Celeste Morgan, the groom's mother. She looked at me for a long moment, then glanced at Rachel, then back at me. Something flickered behind her calm eyes. She saw what was happening, and I had the strange feeling that for the first time in a long time, I was unalone. Celeste Morgan didn't say much after that first glance. But there was something in her stillness that said more than words ever could a quiet, deliberate observation. I wandered toward the bar, half tempted to leave. But then I saw him, Dominic, the groom, Rachel's new husband. He stood off to the side, away from the laughter and cameras, holding a whiskey glass. His eyes were locked on me, Now, he looked like someone who had just realized the ground beneath him might be hollow. He walked over slowly. "Meredith," he said. "Dominic, you okay?" he asked, voice low. I gave a small shrug. "Depends on your definition." He glanced over his shoulder toward the head table, then turned back to me, jaw tight. "I need to ask you something," he said. "Is this a polite wedding chat or something else? Does Rachel ever talk about me when I'm not around? It's different than when she's with me?" That was the moment. I looked at his whiskey glass. "You might want to take a sip first." He didn't hesitate. He downed it in one shot. I spoke slowly. "I don't think you know Rachel the way you think you do." "She's been different," he finally said, controlling, private. "Like there are sides she doesn't want me to see." But before I could answer, a presence approached. Celeste had returned. And this time, she wasn't just watching. She was holding her phone. "Mom, I believe you should see this," she said quietly. He took the phone and then everything shifted. His eyes scanned the screen slowly at first, then faster. Each swipe cut deeper. His face showed a dawning realization, followed by disbelief, followed by a kind of grief that doesn't make a sound. Celestia's voice was soft. "Your wife-to-be doesn't just dislike me, Dominic. She disrespects you. She disrespects all of us." He kept reading. The texts were from Rachel's screenshots from group chats. Rachel complaining about Celestia, laughing about how Dominic eats out of her hand and how she's training him to be the husband she needs. But the worst one, a message Rachel sent just 2 days before the wedding. "Once we're married, I'll have access to everything." He's too eager to prove he's not like his dad. It makes him blind. All I have to do is smile until the ink dries. Dominic's hand clenched around the phone. His mouth parted slightly. Celeste placed a hand on his shoulder. "We don't have to do this here," she said gently. "There's a room we can use somewhere private." Without a word, we moved. Within minutes, we were all in a private lounge just off the ballroom. Rachel walked in last. "What is this?" she asked, her tone sugary and annoyed. "Are we seriously doing this now?" "We are," Celeste told her. Rachel turned to Dominic. "Baby, whatever she told you, don't," he said, voice low. "Just don't." Margaret, my mother, stepped forward. "Can we please not make a scene? It's a wedding, for heaven's sake." "It's not a scene," Celestia replied coldly. "It's a truth that's been ignored long enough." I stayed quiet. This was the reckoning, and it had finally arrived. "This is all just a misunderstanding," Margaret said quickly, forcing a smile. "Weddings are stressful. Everyone says things they don't mean." Celeste raised an eyebrow. Rachel meant every word. She repeated herself in every message. Rachel scoffed. "This is ridiculous. You're really going to believe some screenshots taken out of context?" My mother reached for his arm. "Sweetheart, please. Rachel's just been under pressure. You know how emotional she gets?" "Stop." The word was quiet. It's almost too quiet, but it cut through the room like thunder. Everyone turned. It was my father. Charles Blake had always been the quiet one, present but never involved. Never contradicted my mother. Till now. He stepped forward, his face pale, voice calm but heavy. "Margaret, enough," he said. "You've protected Rachel her whole life, and look what it's turned her into." Rachel froze. "You've let her believe she could say anything, do anything, and there'd never be consequences." He continued. "Well, now there are." He turned toward me. "And Meredith has been right all along." My breath caught in my throat. Rachel's face contorted. "Dad, are you seriously taking her side?" "I'm not taking sides. I'm finally telling the truth." I stared at my father, trying to understand how it had taken a lifetime to hear the words I'd been desperate for. He had chosen to speak. He had chosen me. Rachel wasn't used to being challenged. Her face flushed, but it wasn't embarrassment. It was rage. "You're all turning against me because of her," she hissed, jabbing a finger in my direction. "No," Celesta said calmly. "We're turning away from you because we finally see you clearly." Rachel flinched. For the first time, she realized control was slipping from her hands. She turned back to Dominic. "You can't believe this. You can't let her manipulate you." This is supposed to be our day. Dominic looked at her. I was ready to build a life with you, he said quietly. But I don't even know who you are. My mother stepped in again. Always the fixer. Let's not be hasty. This can be sorted out. Rachel's intentions were calculated. Celeste interrupted. Sharp as glass, manipulative, self-serving. I was under pressure, Rachel snapped. I didn't mean everything I said. Dominic took a slow breath. You meant enough. And then he turned to me. You tried to tell me, didn't you? I didn't answer. I didn't need to. He already knew. Rachel's voice dropped to a whisper. You're ruining everything. I finally spoke. You've ruined it yourself. I just stopped pretending it wasn't happening. There was no yelling, no dramatic exit. Just silence. Rachel stood there in her perfect dress, surrounded by expensive flowers and people who no longer played along with her illusion. No one stepped forward, not even my mother. And in that moment, I saw something I'd never seen in Rachel before. Fear. Because, for once, the spotlight wasn't hers to control. And the only thing waiting in the shadows was the truth she had spent a lifetime hiding. I didn't stay for the rest of the wedding. There was nothing left to witness. I walked out of that lavish ballroom with my heels clicking softly against the marble. I passed the hallway where they tried to seat me like an afterthought. I paused there for just a second, then kept walking. Not out of anger, not out of spite, out of peace. You don't owe them another seat at your table. You owe yourself freedom. Rachel's perfect day had unraveled. Not because I caused a scene, but because I didn't play my part anymore. Sometimes the strongest revenge isn't loud. It's leaving quietly knowing you told the truth and finally letting go of the version of yourself they tried to keep small. And if you've ever been that forgotten daughter, the invisible one, the afterthought, I want you to hear this. You're not the problem. You're just finally done pretending to. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching from.